Okay, so we're back, and now let's make this real. We have this out in the, we have this working. In the ICM505 folder now, you should have a template HTML page, a resume, an index, a hobbies, a contacts, a bio, a badges. In your image folder, you should have a picture of the background of the header and a headshot. Really, don't use mine. Make it your own, and and name them appropriately and put them out there. You should have a copy of the normalized CSS in the CSS folder, and you should have my style 01 in the in there that you created from the last video. So when we click on index.html, just a little reminder, we have our web page displaying, and notice it says welcome to my journey. When I click about me, oh, so that's interesting. I thought I saw that. So right there, I've probably got a problem with the bio page. So let's check that real quick. And it's always good to double and triple check stuff. My guess is I've got a bad tag. So, or I'm not, you know what? Well, we'll find out. Let's just open, desktop ICM505. And H1, my style, H1 Professor Gruhn's H1. I wonder if that was from before. If I refresh, do you know what it was? And this happens a lot. From an earlier version of the page, it was in cache, so you have to refresh the page. I was going to say that code looked right. So there's my bio, my resume, hobbies, badges, and contact. Right now, there's just this Latin in here, this lorem, and at any time you can change that and put real information in that. With the HTML5 badge, basic badge, you'll be able to start working these various pages. So I think we're good to go. And when I hit a page and I hit home from any one of these pages, I did fix that where every page says for home, the home link goes to index.html. There, and yeah, so everyone does. So badges, home, yep. So it looks like hobbies. Oh, so the hobbies page, again, it's important to test. So file, open. Let's go to the hobbies page and look at that. I spelled index wrong. So it can happen. Now, when we do the PHP stuff, right now it's kind of a pain that the menu is a copy on each individual page. When we do PHP, I'll teach you a thing called PHP include. So all you have to do is have one menu, one place in the menu, and everything references it, and it'll definitely make your life a lot easier. So I think now, refresh the hobbies page, hobbies, home, and now we're back. Okay, so we're good. Now, hopefully you've installed FileZilla. There's several videos on how to use it out there, and I'm just going to do a quick overview of it and get some stuff out there. Right now, if you go to my website, there's not much to talk about. paulgruen.com. I have a blank WordPress page out there, a site. My assumption is many of you have a WordPress site that you've probably created from ICM505, and I wanted to make sure I had this out there kind of as a starting point so you understood what was going on. And if you go /ICM505, I don't think I have anything out there. I'm getting a page not found. So that's great. That's exactly as expected. So back to paulgruen.com. So now I've installed FileZilla. I've been using it for years. And the key thing here is to understand that this side of the page is your local computer, and this side is your web server that you're going to connect to. So what you want to do is, and you need your information from your web provider to know what your FTP server is. And usually this is probably the hardest part of getting this thing going. I'm going to go to Site Manager. And then what you'll do is create a new site, and then you'd call it something. But I already have a site called File Site Manager. I already have a site called Paul Gruhn, and my FTP host is ftp.paulgrun.com, and you usually don't need a port, but it's usually port 22. You need your username for your Bluehost account or whichever account that you would log into that you have your cPanel on. You need that ID and you need the password. So you need your FTP information from your web host provider, and you set that up in your site manager for FileZilla. And then you do a connect. It'll go through a few things here, and if all goes well, directory listing of the root directory is successful. Now, what's important to note is on your web server, there's a lot of directories, a lot of folders and stuff out there. And it's very common for people to not be in the right place. So right here, and there's a high-level directory tree here, and then the detail. If I open this up at the high level, I see a lot of dot folders and directories. I see mail, Perl, Perl 5, PHP. But this public HTML folder and this www folder, those two folders are basically the same folder. Public underbar HTML is the real folder name on the Unix server. www is a pseudonym, a virtual link to the same folder. So typically you would open up the www folder, and if I double click on the www folder, now all the files that are there are listed along with the subfolders that are in my www. When I go to paulgrun.com on a browser, I am in fact in the www folder, this folder here, on my server. So that's really important to know. You don't want to be at this root directory here. You need to really be sure that you open this up and you double click and you're in www. That's your starting point. Now, for instance, this index.php page, that's the file that's creating this WordPress site. So if I was to right click on it and just rename it real quick, and it happens a lot of times, and I'm going to go GG. So I've renamed it. And now if I refresh the page, oh, that's interesting that it's acting up on me. It's actually showing it. That's a surprise. Did it not index? So if you delete the page and stuff, it should normally just not work. I don't know what's going on there. A lot of times people inadverted. That's weird. I've never seen that where it actually still showed the same page. I wonder. I got to believe maybe it's a cache thing again with my my browser. What you need to do, moving right along, what you need to do in here is create a folder called you have to be in the www folder, and then right click and create a directory called ICM505. And then that folder is now here. And if I go to my website, I'll probably get a I'm not allowed ICM505. So look I'm getting a parent directory of that. So now that directory does exist. But when I click in here, there's nothing in here. So now what I need to do is I need to locate my ICM505 folder that is on my desktop. So what I have to do is I have to, on my local side, again, remember, this is the local side, your local PC, and this is the remote side that you've connected to. I need to go to C:, and on a Mac, you have to go up to the root directory, and you have to find your users, user file, and desktop. And then I have to go to users, open up that. My user is just user. Open up that, and then here's my desktop folder. I open up that, and then there's the ICM505, and I double click on here. So now, if you look, I am in ICM505 here, and this is on my machine locally, users, user, desktop, ICM505. You have to find your 505 folder. And then out on the server on www.icm505. So I'm going to double click here. Notice if I bring this up, this one's empty. This one's got all of the files I put on it and the image and the CSS. So now if I highlight that, everything, right click and click upload because I want to send it up to the web server. Take a couple of quick minutes. Now everything's there, all the files and this index page is there. And then if I refresh the page, now on the web, I have a working page out there. However, what I don't understand, so the interesting, I got a feeling, so something's not right with the, something's not happening here. That's the wrong color. I'll have to take with that. So we'll have to take a look at what's going on with that. Why it's not referencing that. I wonder. So let's open that up real quick. And you spend more time fixing screw ups than you actually do when you know what to do correctly. It's easy. H1. Oh, so that looks right. File, open. That all looks right, and that's referencing it because we know the CSS is working. So that's, I wouldn't expected that to have been black. I mean, maybe it's just defaulting differently on this browser. That doesn't look right. And the colors, oh, so you know what? I think that the colors I've chosen in the CSS, it's not liking that with this. Let's pull up a different browser. That's Chrome. So I need to play around with some colors stuff going on. Some of the colors are not working correctly on there. What, and you guys else, this is driving me nuts. You all saw it that when we go to ICM505, this folder, and we type it in here, the colors are working fine. Okay, so I got a little homework to do, but the most important part right now is to, using FileZilla, upload the files up to the ICM505 folder and get it working on the internet. Once you have this amount of stuff working and showing, and if you used weird colors like I obviously did, that somehow it didn't like those colors, then go ahead and change them. You can post for your FileZilla badge. So the good news is it's up and out there. I don't know what the idiosyncrasy is on the colors because everything was working fine locally, and we'll go from there. So if you have this working, where each of the pages goes to each individual page, you've done enough to complete the FileZilla badge. Thanks and have a great day.